Instructor Hickman here with Modern Warrior School. Today we're going to be going over micro survival kits, specifically one that can fit in an Altoids tin. While you can use any number of tins or containers for these kits, I'm using this kit today, one, because it's extremely obtainable, and two, because it's a good reference size for what you can fit inside of one. We'll go ahead and get started. On the outside, I carry a couple of Ranger bands that I cut from a bicycle inner tube, and this is just to keep the thing shut. When you open it up, there's a piece of flat folded Gorilla Tape, and this is just wrapped around a piece of wax paper to keep it from sticking to itself. It's about 10 foot and the size of a credit card. Then I have some empty space right here. This is because in the future I'll be getting a button compass and maybe some Kevlar cordage or other things like a Streamlight Nano to fit inside here as well. So I'm leaving the space empty for when I get that. Then I have these labeled containers here. These containers I made out of smoothie straws that I melted the ends on, and then I just made a label with my label maker so that I could see what everything was. First off, I have some fishing line. This is 100-pound test braided line. It's about 30 foot, so it's enough for shelter making, fishing obviously. It's strong enough for snaring small game like rabbits or squirrels. It can be used for repairing clothing or tarps, things like that. Well, the duct tape's more for tarps than anything. But you get the picture. It's a multi-purpose cordage. To complement the fishing line, I have various hooks. I think there's 4 or 5 in here and 2 sinkers. Pretty self-explanatory. Then I have some Tinder Rolls. These I made from cotton makeup pads that I soaked in petroleum jelly. I find these burn a little bit longer than cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly. However, they don't take a spark quite as well, though it's still quite easy to start a flame with these. And speaking of burn times, I believe it's a good 4.5 minute burn for each one of these, and I have 2 in the kit. To go with those, I have some matches. These are regular matches. I practice with this kit quite a bit, and these are just cheaper for me to get. But I do recommend store matches if that's something you can afford to do and train with. And I have the striker inside the straw as well. Next, I have some candles for extending that flame a little bit longer, or if I need to move a flame. Then I have some snare wire. This is maybe 6 foot. It's not much, but it's, I believe, rated for 200 or 300 pounds. So quite a bit more than I could use for the fishing line, and it's enough that I could just barely make the noose and give a lead for it. But it's one more piece of food procurement gear. Then I have some chlorine tablets. These are 8 tablets. They're not waterproofed in any way, but it is splash guarded with some tape and a post-it note. Then this is either a P38 or a P58 can opener. I can't remember. I will link a picture of it up in the corner if you don't know what that type of can opener is, but in case I encounter some canned goods, I can still open those and consume the contents. Small multi-tool. This just came from a gun show I went to, but self-explanatory again. It just has a couple of tools I might run into. I'll probably upgrade this with the Everman or Everready, I can't remember what they're called, but the credit card tools, and I'll link them up here again. Then I have a simple razor blade. Again, it's taped just so it doesn't dull out the blade or cut anything in the kit. But it's also very good for prying out this card from the bottom. And this is just the card that comes with SE knives, if you're familiar with them. Has a couple of survival tips on here. if you're lost or making shelter, and signaling. It's got a couple of map ruler guides, and it's got conversions from metric to imperial. Last but not least is a transpiration bag that I stuffed into the bottom of the kit, and I won't take it out because it's a little hard to put back into the kit. However, it's about 5 or 6 liters, I believe, so it's enough to purify quite a bit of water inside of. You can collect water in it, obviously. I wouldn't boil the water, but that's what the chlorine tabs are for. Well, that's all for today. But if you like this video, please like, subscribe, show your support, and visit modernwarriorschool.com to stay up to date with all our latest developments.